Good afternoon, everyone. As Chloe said, we are going to talk about B2B from the digital and the strategic points of view. Basically, the idea is to tell you what is happening from the industry point of view, but also what are the challenges and how the B2B companies, manufacturers or wholesalers are facing the market trends. Okay? Presentation is popping up, I guess, I hope. Before we start, a few words about myself. I'm from the B2B industry, that's my background. I have worked 10 years for a worldwide manufacturer from the B2B perspective, and later 20 years for a global wholesaler. Both companies worldwide market leaders. Manufacturer 5 billion euro sales, the wholesaler 22 billion euro sales. That means half of my career as manufacturer, half of it as wholesaler, and of course, a lot of top management positions, basically marketing, sales, partners management, and digital. Both companies in the electrical and industrial material. And then you understand during my presentation why Amazon B2B is jumping on that pool. The market is huge. We have electrical material and industrial material everywhere in the world, and basically that industry is becoming digital. From the global perspective, I'm an international executive. I'm originally from Brazil, from São Paulo. I have also an Italian citizenship, and I live in Switzerland, in Geneva, for more than 7 years. Okay, let's start. The first bullet point today, the mindset of it, from the B2B perspective. What is happening when we talk about B2B inside the companies, manufacturers or wholesalers? Some numbers to help us here. First, if you see there, the first line, 80% of the B2B companies report that they are undergoing digital transformation. Is a big number, isn't it? The second one, 85% of the enterprise decision makers say they have a time frame of 2 years to make significant inroads into digital transformation. Beautiful number again, but if you look to the third figure here, 25% of those companies have a clear understanding of new and underperforming digital touchpoints. Only 25% of them. And that is the beauty of the industry here, and that's the area where I'm jumping to help the manufacturers and wholesalers to understand what they should do and how they could do, from the digital perspective. Again, mindsetting ourselves to understand the B2B and digital industry. What are the benefits? For the buyers, everything related to cost. We know if you are a manager, if you are a purchase manager, your main task is to save cost, of course. You want to pay less, and you want to save cost to the organization. For the supplier, everything related to marketing, customers, and cost again. Basically, we are talking about increasing the market efficiency, and second, improving cost saving for every part of that business. Being manufacturer, being wholesaler, being the end user. Having said that, a lot of people are asking me, Ricardo, you are an expert about B2B. Can you tell us what's the difference between B2B and B2C from the digital perspective? Most of you have seen that template before, but it's always good to have an overview to think about what is happening. In terms of market, when we talk about the B2C, large, audience and broad market, of course. When we talk about the B2B, small, niches. When we talk about focus and driver, B2C, marketing of brands and products. B2B, market of solutions. You want to provide the full package to your customers when you are a B2B business. Sometimes only products, sometimes products and services. That is the first big difference when we talk about solution. B2C, online, you sell products, not yet solution and services. B2B, you sell product and services. The target, the goal, B2C, maximizing the shopping cart value. B2B, maximizing partnership value. Partnership is the beginning of the story when we talk about B2B business. Buying process, B2C, everything manual, single step, short cycles. B2B, it's becoming automatic, but everything related to multi-steps and long cycles. Purchasing decision, B2C, emotional, B2B, rational. Let's stop a little bit here, because there is an overcrossing happening here. That is a very tricky topic. B2C is emotional, but is becoming rational. Most of us, we are end users. We go online, we want to buy a camera. Most of us, what we are doing, we go to the retail shop to check it. We are not buying anymore one click. You know that there are a lot of websites selling the same camera. You started to search, you start to think about the purchasing process. It's becoming rational. B2B, rational, but it's becoming emotional. Why? Because now they have online availability, stock, pricing, everything from the manufacturer perspective. This is very new. And why it's becoming emotional? This is why Amazon is jumping here. Purchase manager in a big manufacturer, in a plant. He is responsible for the maintenance of the factory. 10 years ago, he had a problem with the circuit breaker in the panel. The engineer of the plant was going to him, he was going to the manufacturer, calling them, having a specification discussion, checking the availability of it, sending the product. It was taking at least 1 week. What is happening today? He has a problem with the circuit breaker. He goes online. He Google it. He goes to Amazon. In less than 1 day, he'll get the circuit breaker. It's a huge change. Payment, B2C, credit or debit card. B2B, invoice, payment terms. Sales, B2C, marketing. B2B, sales team. Face-to-face, this is the B2B business. The approach in terms of sales, B2C, entertainment. B2B, expertise and solving issues. I'm here to solve your problem. I'm your B2B sales guy. Pricing, that's another very tricky topic. B2C, it's a daily, I would say, action. B2B, seasonal. But again, it's changing because the B2B now, they are scared about the new actors on the market, and they know that they need to learn about pricing as fast as they can. User, B2C consumers, we are the customers here. B2B, purchase department, many decision makers. But what I'd like to highlight here, B2C and B2B learning from each other. It's my first time in this conference, I'm learning a lot. Because most of the, I would say, booths here are related to B2C. Most of the discussions are about B2C. And that's the reason I came yesterday. When the organization invited me, Ricardo, you are a B2B executive, you want to join us? Of course I want. For me, it's an amazing learning. But think about from the B2B perspective. There are a lot of things to learn, and we're going to have a session later here to talk about that. One of them, partnership management. I was a global guy in the wholesaler dealing with more than 100 million euros partnerships. It's amazing how B2B deal with partnership. Size. Of course, B2B is much bigger than B2C. As a basketball player is bigger than a football player. Why? A lot of steps in the middle of the process. B2C, one shop, one click. B2B, if you think about the process, the full package of the solution is much bigger. I'm Brazilian, sorry. The soccer is always on the screen. Okay, it's very difficult to resist, I know. Second topic today, understanding the B2B marketplace for e-commerce. Again, it's a very simple picture. B2C, business to consumer, B2B, business to business. Okay, Ricardo, nothing new here. But have a look on the left side, how many boxes we have there. The raw material, the manufacturer, the wholesaler, the retails, and the verticals, the end users. B2C is one line. B2B, complexity. and services is much more complex. And that is the beauty of the digital solution. As much as it is complex, more we can add a value being digital. Does it make sense? Next topic. They asked me, Ricardo, let's talk about the strategy. From your point of view, what would be the steps? What should be in the business plan of the B2B, I would say, business as digital? Of course, a business plan is much longer than that. I highlighted the 6 key success factors from my point of view. First of them, people, profile. To be a digital guy in the B2C, to find someone as digital executive in the B2C is easier than in the B2B. We're going to talk about it later. Marketing initiatives, here we're going to talk about branding and customer journey. Partners, internal alignment. You can imagine a manufacturer of 20 billion euro sales to have the synchronization of the digital strategy inside the company. It's not easy. Goals and KPIs, measuring, and consistency. Let's start with the first, people. Ricardo, what is the profile of a B2B digital guy? First, B2B expertise, of course. Second, marketing background, especially about pricing, branding. Third, digital marketing. Next, customer journey. This is new. I highlighted there because this is new for the B2B industry. Trade, channel and partners management, and IT expertise. Do you think it's easy to find someone with all these attributes? It's not. What the companies are doing, giving the access to the new generation. They must learn about them to be ready for tomorrow. I like that template very much. That was a survey made by Regalix 2 years ago. The question was, what are the most important factors for future B2B digital marketing initiatives? The first 2 are customer journey and channel management. Remember what I said in the beginning? Customer journey is new for B2B, channel management is key for B2B. We saw all the different boxes, one of my templates. And we have the numbers. The customer journey by itself. When we talk about B2B, we divide it into parts. Before the purchasing, after the purchasing. Before the purchasing, engagement, education, research, evaluation, justification. After the purchasing, adoption, retention, expansion, advocacy, loyalty. Just to give you an example, to retain the customer in a B2B business 10 years ago was about how improving the relationship, shaking hands, having a coffee, going together to attend an event. It was a personal relationship 10 years ago. Today, the loyalty programs, the miles, whatever is the way that they are doing that, that is very much new for the B2B industry. Ricardo, I want to visit my customer. You don't need that anymore. Do that by smartphone. Send a SMS. Connected with him by WhatsApp. Be connected. Use the SMS. We saw a presentation here today about the use of the mobiles in the B2B industry. But that is very much disruptive. You have a sales team for 20 years doing 5 visits per day. And now you tell the guy you don't need to go there. Stay home. Do home office. Think about that. Put yourself in the shoes of the sales team. It's not an easy changing. But it is what it is. And that's the way that we are telling the B2B, I would say, companies, wake up. It's a must. It's not a question of choice anymore. Or you go in this direction, or companies like Amazon B2B and others that are popping up, then you take that market share that you miss very, very soon. Dashboards. I saw a lot of dashboards companies here. For the B2B industry, that's a daily business. For the B2C, that's a daily business. For the B2B, this is also new. Why? B2B companies, especially the wholesalers, They are always scared about sharing their data. Why? Because they think that they own the customers. Oh, I know this customer for more than 20 years. But you need a dashboard to tell them the inventory, what products they are buying, the cycle. You need a dashboard to have a summary of your relationship. Never, Ricardo. I have had many discussions with top managers. Never. Don't ask me that. I am not going to put my data in a dashboard. My competitor tomorrow, you come, you steal it. But if you don't do that, the others, this is a normal daily business. You provide that, you miss your customer. But that's happening. And consistency. Digital is beautiful. I mean, I have attended many big conferences. I was with Cisco, Microsoft, all the big companies. I was a speaker in one of the conferences with Cisco. I mean, 2-3 years ago, all B2B companies were talking about digital because that was the trend. It was everywhere, on the magazines, on the web, and all the CEOs were saying, oh, we have a digital strategy, we have a new CDO, we're gonna hire business, everything. But after 2-3 years, most of them, they are stuck. They are stuck because they are scared about all the changes, even inside the company. And consistency. 5-10 years business plan at least. They asked me, Ricardo, in terms of benchmark, in terms of avoiding cost, how do you see the B2B companies doing today? That template is one of the most important of my presentation, internal alignment. Again, put yourself in the shoes of a big B2B wholesaler. 3 years ago, they hired a new CDO, Chief Digital Officer. They have a new digital team. They are talking about customer journey, talking about pricing, branding, and so on. But without an internal alignment, it's not going to work. Every single department inside the B2B company must be aligned with the digital strategy, because that touches every corner of the company. IT, the wholesaler, they must have all the IT platforms linked or at least consolidated. But if the IT vice president is not buying the digital product, the CDO is blocked. Finance, the same. Human resources, we talk about the profile. A profile of a digital guy is much more expensive than a normal marketing guy, because we saw all the attributes that the person must have. If the human resources vice president is not together with the CDO, forget it. Supply chain, purchase, commercial, marketing, all the different departments. And normally we say you must have an internal committee. In your committee, the head, you'll be from the digital team, but from each of the departments, you must have one person joining the team. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It sounds, again, very easy, but when you are in a company of 50 billion euros, in a B2B company that is a market leader, they think that they don't need that. No, it's okay, only the digital team is red enough. It's a high cost, but they need. Branding. Branding is more than just a logo and an image, we know that. Again, inside the B2B business, consistency in terms of the message to the customers. Interactions with consumers. Everybody now is online. 10 years ago, the sales team of the B2B business was in front of the customers. Nowadays, all the departments, if they don't have the same mindset in terms of brand, confusing. They will make the customer confused. And everyone in the company. Do you know Granger from US? Is there anybody here who knows Granger? 1, 2, 2 people. Granger does 10 billion US dollars sales. 40% of that through internet, 4 billion. Amazon is doing 1 billion. Why you don't know Grainger? Because it's a B2B wholesaler. There is no branding. They are jumping on that. Amazon, the brand Amazon is very strong, is there for decades. Grainger is there for decades. But they do 4 times what Amazon does. And people know only Amazon. Just to give you an example. Why? B2B branding. Next template, I was discussing before about the synchronization with Flow. I mean, that's a must. I told you I have worked 10 years in a manufacturer. 10 years ago, the relationship between manufacturer and the distributor was much more important than the relation with the common customer. When I moved from the manufacturer to the wholesaler 10 years ago, I was at least 1 year lost. Why? Because the manufacturer, they look to their customers, they look down. They have a customer strategy. The wholesalers, they look up. They have a supplier's strategy. I went to the wholesaler. I was the marketing director. I called my team. I said, guys, let's build the customer strategy. No, Ricardo, forget it. We need to catch up with the supplier first. What? We need to go to our customers. No, first suppliers. If you look to the website of the B2B wholesalers, you see that they are organized by product families, never by customers. Why? Because product families is related to suppliers, not to customers. Customers, we talk about verticals, oil and gas. Okay, let's have a strategy for oil and gas, the full package services. No, they have per product family. That is related to the history. But what is happening now? The focus is going from there to the bottom. Now the focus is the customer for the B2B industry. And then what is happening now? The manufacturers, they are saying to the distributors, do you have a digital strategy? More or less. We are working on that. Okay, buy. I don't want to miss the sales to the new players in the market. And then the wholesalers, they are building the new strategy for digital. What is happening? Conflicts. And why do you think Amazon jumped on that? Because they understand the channel. They see the conflict. They see the gap. Now manufacturers and distributors, they are speaking each other, but there is no trust anymore. Do you have a digital strategy? I don't have. Okay, sorry. I have to sell to the customers. You cannot overlap me. We are partners for more than 20 years. I don't care. Are you going to sell the products to the end users? No, I don't have a digital platform. Bye. And that 10 years ago, I was saying that to the manufacturer and the distributor. 10 years ago, 2007, 2008. And now it's happening. Whatever is the market, this is global. My last position in the wholesaler was a global coverage. I was going to China, Japan, US, Brazil, Nordics. It's exactly the same situation. Because the B2B partnership is going to the end users, not anymore between end users and distributors. Okay, to close my presentation, I guess we are perfectly on time. The outcomes today, when we talk about the B2B, the mindset is the first outcome. Second, understanding the marketplace, the channel management. Third, the digital strategy. We saw the 6 success factors. The next, benchmark and internal alignment. Branding, this is marketing initiative. And the synchronization. That was my last template. If we don't have the synchronization between the manufacturer, the wholesaler, and the end user, they will miss the market together. Because new companies, new players who are seeing the gap, they will jump on it, they will take the market share. Thank you, I hope you like it. My email address, my phone, if you want to discuss further about the topics today, my pleasure. If you want to have the templates as well, I can share them with you. And I'm willing for your questions, please.
Well, Ricardo, that was superb, I have to say. Everyone probably saw me clicking away. I think I took a photograph of pretty much every single one of your slides. Some awesome things up there. Does anyone have any questions?
Please.
For Ricardo, if you can put your hand up and we can get a mic to you, if I can actually even see you. Are they underneath the lights? No? No one has a question yet? Okay. I've got a question for you, Ricardo.
Please.
You're not going to get away that easily. You mentioned about the B2B customer journey having two parts, the pre-purchase and the post-purchase. Which is the most important? Which should you be investing the most time, money, and energy in as a B2B company?
Both of them. Both of them, because before, as I said, they must work on the specification and to bring the customers together, and after, because the loyalty is a must. As we said, there is not, they must invest on both sides.
And do you find, this is something which is starting to fascinate me quite a lot, do you find that the more effort you put in at the pre-purchase, the easier it is to run the post-purchase?
Absolutely, absolutely, you are right. Now I got your question. In terms of investment, the two sides, in terms of importance, I would say before the purchasing process is more important, because then the after purchasing process will be a consequence of the success in the first stage. Absolutely.
Got you.
It makes sense.
Okay, cool. Do we have any questions from the audience? Yes, we've got a lady just there. Have we got a roving mic somewhere? Do we have a roving mic? A roving mic? No? Oh, yes. Okay, hold on. I'll bring it over to you. This is getting me some exercise, waking me up for the afternoon. Okay. There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
My question is, so I'm always doing B2C marketing, and I'm now doing B2B and B2C.
Okay.
And so my company has one website which is basically targeting B2C, but we are using the same platform for B2B.
Okay.
So when first step to engage with B2B people, what do you suggest us to put on the one single website? Like, how should we capture them?
That's a great question.
Awesome question.
I met someone from Amazon yesterday, and he told me that last week Amazon is made available quotation from the B2B perspective, because in the B2B business you must provide solution, not only products. If you provide only products, it becomes a B2C business. If you provide solution, you protect the B2B business. Solution means the right product, the right package, and sometimes the service. I'm going to give you an example. One of the companies that I was supporting, they had a B2C web sales platform. They sell electrical material. They sell switches, they sell circuit breakers, and so on. And they said, okay, we are becoming B2C. We are entering in a business that it's not our DNA. We're going to lose the game. What we should do? Provide services. They were very smart. What they did? They created a platform where the end user, you are renovating your flat. You know that electrical material sometimes is very expensive. The switch that we touch on the wall, if you buy all them for your apartment, it costs a little bit. End user, he goes to the web platform, he says, I have this flat, I would like to renovate all the switches. The web platform is able to provide the quotation and the specification to the end user. It's still product, but quotation. On top, the service. But how can a wholesaler provide a service to the end user? Providing the list of the best installers in the place where you live. I live in the south of London. I'm buying 10 switches from that web sales. By the GPS, they will tell you who are the electricians in your area that are certified by the wholesaler. They can go to your house. You don't need to do anything. Everything online. You just put the list. They will send you some proposals. You click on the option you like it, the design of it. They will tell you, okay, don't worry, the installer is going there tomorrow. and you buy product, quotation, and the service together. This is an example of a B2B web sales. Does it make sense? That was your question?
Okay, brilliant. I'm afraid we're going to have to stop picking Ricardo's brains for half an hour, because in actually, first of all, let's thank Ricardo and let him go and get out of the light there.